Alex, and I'm going to be presenting my instrument to you guys today. I want to talk about the evolution of needle holders and explain to you that this was an idea that was worked on for many months, and it didn't just come from out of nowhere. It actually was evolved into what it is now. I want to start with a needle holder. It's actually made by you guys, Miltex, and it's just your basic needle holder. And like I said, I wanted to show the progression of how far this instrument has come along over the many years. Now, as far as I know, it's been used since the mid-40s, 50s, if I'm not mistaken. Don't quote me on that, but that doesn't matter. As the instrument progressed, the next step that they did with it is they added scissors to it. They definitely changed the various grip types of the instruments. Later on came the VIDEO0022, which is also an ergonomically correct needle holder, but the problem with it is it's very delicate. We mostly use it for small cases using small sutures, 6/0, fast absorbing, things like that. It's not something that you can put a lot of torque into, okay? The needle holder hasn't been changed much because doctors really haven't noticed the fact that they're uncomfortable until recently, about 3 years ago. Mr. Fenton let me know about a doctor in Beverly Hills who noticed the same thing that I noticed, which is the fact that when you do a suture, the thumb is not really comfortable. And if I were to take off my glove, I can show you that when you do suture, all the blood rushes to this thumb, and it's not really a comfortable motion to do motions like this. So what this gentleman in Beverly Hills, who's a surgeon from what I understand for the last 20 years, this is actually his design. He designed this along with Mr. Fenton. He basically put an angle into the needle holder on the ring where the thumb lies, also to give you a little bit more curve. I noticed it is better, I'm not going to lie, but still the same problem arose. It's not really comfortable to twist your wrist and do the motions that you want to do and have complete control of your hands. So when I saw this, I asked myself, why did this gentleman not take this all the way? And the problem with this, according to this, V. Mueller, by the way, already produces this. So I just want you to know that V. Mueller already has this on the market, and I'm pretty sure if doctors find out about it, they're going to use this more often as opposed to a regular needle holder. However, the reason why I don't think it sells is if you take a look at it, it's the same instrument, it's just got a bent ring on it. I'm assuming most people don't see it as anything, that they'd want to make a switch for. And I completely understand that. From marketing aspect side of it, there's not much difference from the old to the new. It's a small difference. Now, I wanted to show you the thinking process. Ted and I, working on this instrument, I came along with him and I said, why don't we make the ring spin? So that's actually what I did. I took a needle holder and we made the ring spin. This was the first prototype. And I have to be the first one to say it's awful. It has absolutely no control, but I already noticed the difference, and you can see the difference of how my finger was spinning, but the ring was all off, it wasn't the right size. So over the next several months, I spent time thinking of how to make this better. I love the idea, the doctors loved the idea, Ted Fenton, Mr. Fenton, who helped design this one, loved the idea, but we weren't quite there. Many months later, I want to present my instrument over to you guys. This is my ergonomically correct needle holder. As you can see, it looks nothing like the rest of them. And what we did with this one is we changed the alignment of the ring fingers. They're completely on 2 different levels now, making it more ergonomically correct for the hand. Because if you were to think about it, your thumb does not lie back here, and that's what the other needle holders ask you to do. Your thumb actually lies over here. So when you're putting this into place, this fits like a glove. Your hand is perfectly straight. There's nothing you have to think about it. There it is, okay? As opposed to this one, where you grab it like this, that's not the case. And most doctors hold it in different ways. When I see some doctors, when they're holding it like this, I know it's more proper. But it's not the same thing. And you can't do the motion that you can do with this instrument. This basically gives you a perfect rotating, suturing motion every single time. There's no strain on the wrist. Now, you're asking me why would I come up with this? The reason I came up with this is because doctors just did not know they were uncomfortable. Being a surgical technician, I need to make their lives easier. I believe this instrument will do that and more. If you're an older surgeon in your 60s and your 70s, you're thinking about arthritis by now. And all I know is that if you pick up my instrument, it does not put that strain on your hand as opposed to the old needle holders. And like I said, as opposed to the VIDEO0022, this one, you can still put that strength and torque into it and put that muscle into it for those big ortho cases, as opposed to this guy, which is more delicate for more smaller closures. What this instrument allows you to do is basically save your hands as a plastic surgeon. There's no strain, the movement's easier and it's easier to suture. And the best and the favorite thing that I get from most doctors is once they pick up mine and then they pick up an old needle holder, they say the same thing that I've been saying. It feels old, outdated, and prehistoric. Your hand, after holding this, doesn't want to go back to this. And it's really hard to acknowledge this. At first, one of the doctors that saw this thought it was a little interesting looking. But once you put it in your hand and you can do these movements, and I'll show you why these movements come in handy, and you might understand this by now. But we're actually going to practice on the piece of chicken. I'm going to show this to you. And I apologize, we did not have, someone to do this on. I thought this would be simpler anyways. So I'm going to bring this over here. And I'm going to show you the suturing motions that we do. I'll try to be quick about this, guys. It takes about 2 weeks for the mind to change, to get used to something new. And I've been told this, and I've been told that doctors probably wouldn't want to switch right away. It would take some time. And I agreed with that until I actually picked it up and noticed the fact that every doctor, after touching it just once, realized they really like this instrument. So let me show you in cases of suturing where my points lie. Come on in closer, Angela, so we can take a look at this. I want you to look, focus in on my thumb. And I'll actually take off my gloves so you guys can see exactly what I mean. When you're doing a suture, this is your typical movement. It goes into the tissue, comes back out, and there's my thumb. Now I don't have an atom with me, but there's that motion. And you're putting strain onto your thumb every single time you do this. Just some doctors, like I said, you don't know you're uncomfortable until there's something better comes along. You didn't know your Mercedes was, better than your old Datsun, I guess, until you had a Mercedes. And the other problem with most suturing is that it comes in the dermis. When you're doing this motion and you have to come around, there it is again. There's the thumb. Now let me show you my instrument as opposed to this one. There's absolutely no strain. You load it just like any other suture. Pick it up. It's a part of your hand actually. Let me show you the same motion. I apologize, I didn't load the needle correctly. Let me show you the same motion with my instrument. It gives you the full turnaround, the full 360. Absolutely no strain. I'm able to take out the needle. I'm not a good surgeon here. But that motion, or this one per se, there it is. Without any strain on my hand. It feels like a glove. And I know you guys think because I'm saying this, I'm trying to sell this to you guys. No, it's a fact. If you were to hold this, and I will be mailing you this prototype if you ask for it, if you were to hold this, you'd realize the same thing. It's a part of your hand. It moves quickly, easily, and does not put any strain on a surgeon's hand. This little pinky actually is here for a wonderful reason. My doctor likes to take his hand off the suture sometimes, and this is actually one of the reasons why we came up with this. My personal doctor that I work for, when he does the suturing motion, he hates to do this because it puts a strain on his hand. So what he will do is he will take his hand off the instrument completely and start twisting it around like this, turning it like this. And it's literally, that is the reason why I decided to come up with my instrument. You don't have to do that any longer. You can go right into the dermis, come back out, no strain, easy movement every single time. You're going to find this to be a heck of an instrument. Now, I also want to explain to you why I came to you as far as Miltex. It's a marketing strategy. I felt we would do best together. I looked into Downey, Down Surgical over in Europe, ASSI, who actually Mr. Fenton worked with, along with V. Mueller, who already produces these, and he referred me over to them. I decided to call you guys and talk to you guys because I felt that you're a company that's growing. You're just merged with Integra. I thought that you might want a new product on the shelves. This is going to be the future of surgery as far as needle holders. I'm positive of it. This instrument is custom to the hand of every surgeon that uses it. Actually, the ring size is sized to the thumb. So when you're using it, it's like a glove. It's not a universal needle holder that anybody can buy anywhere. A pure plastic surgeon that does this for about 14 to 15 hours wants an instrument that's going to make him comfortable, not put any strain on his hands, and make his day easier. And that's exactly what we're trying to do here, is make the lives of surgeons easier. On that note, that's pretty much it. I just want to keep it simple, but basically the fact that you guys have joined with Integra, you coming out with a new product, the fact that you guys use German steel, I felt was the best relationship to have was with you. I hope that we can possibly make this work and have a long-lasting future together producing these guys. I will be getting referral letters from doctors for you, and like I said, it's a really simple instrument, simple uses. There it is, just show you one last time. It's just a simple suturing motion every time with a simple 360 inside, unclamp, come back in every time. You never have to let go of the instrument. Now I apologize, I didn't use my other hand and didn't suture properly, but that's not what I do for a living. But in a surgeon's hands, I've had a surgeon do a biopsy with this, a couple of sutures, put it in, came right out, very smooth, perfect every time. That's about it for my demonstration. I hope you like it, and I hope we can talk soon.